What's good, y'all? Some other get my brother Skyra in here. We're gonna have a little quick discussion, not a little quick discussion, but a big discussion about some podcasts that we putting together or some shows that we putting together, and just talking about how we are consuming this media and how the media is wild podcasts and interesting things that we are consuming on the internet. So y'all hold tight. I know a couple of y'all just popped in. My boy just invited him right now, and feel free to hop in. If you feel like the discussion is intriguing, and you got something to say. I love going live with people. Let me put on my glasses. I'm over here like squinting like crazy. I'm probably looking at me like, what's wrong with this man? But yeah, it should be hopping in. What's good, Christine? What's good? What's good? What's good? So yeah, y'all hold tight. I'm about to get my boy in here in a second. We're gonna get this conversation going. I'm gonna start going on live more often for sure, because the algorithm is not fucking with me no more. After you spend a little time off the live, I be feeling like it don't send it out to people. So it used to be like 50 people plus. It just pop up now, and don't nobody be in this thing no more. I've been away from the matrix for too long. So I'm sending out my invites right now. So y'all just hold tight. And also for the people that just popped in, if you feel like you want to go live with us, I'd love to have you. All right, there you go. What up?
Hey, we are here. I have to try to get this set up.
Are you trying to have a blue light in your background like me?
We the blue light boys.
Can you see? Oh, this nigga left. He got mad because we both had blue lights and left. That's not cool. I would love to go to Patriots and Pauls and do a podcast or participate in a podcast over there. So that'll be dope. Definitely keep me updated with that. All right, I think he is coming back in. There we go.
My bad. I swiped it over.
You got that mad that I had a blue light. You got out the whole lie. That's deep. That's deep.
Oh man, man,
And we back, y'all. After a year.
man.
After 1 year, a 1 year hiatus of going on live, we are back. It's been a year. Has it been a year?
It has definitely been a
Man,
year
it's
for sure.
been a whole year. That's crazy. Where is the
Well,
time?
well, well, well. It may have been like 9 months,
That's basically
but
a year.
basically, yeah, yeah.
Whew.
Oh man, I am excited.
We gotta
Excited
look,
just to chat.
we gotta stop playing and get on here often, man. We got people who's been asking about us. We've been requested.
Yeah, man. Yeah, on your end, and one or two people on my end as well. They kind of asked about the IG podcast that I used to be a part of. So, well, yeah, yeah, yum, yum, yum.
Well, what's good, y'all? So for the people that know us, I'm Mercer Millions, and this is
Mhm.
Skyra, and we used to do a podcast a year ago, and we retired early. But we back. We back now to get y'all some information, have some enlightening discussions, and just enjoy this space with y'all and really get to know who y'all are, and have these next level conversations. I think I put on the title, "What are you consuming?" Just because we try to put out content that is nourishing for your mind and your spirit and your soul, and also not boring. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of wildness out here on the internet. So we fighting a good fight. We're putting out our good content to combat all of the other type of content out there in the world. So we got my brother
Yeah,
Skyler. I'll let him reintroduce himself to y'all. You know what I'm saying? Because we basically starting off from scratch.
what's going on, y'all? Like you said, coming out of retirement with the podcast. With this podcast, the aim is to speak on things that are not talked about, or if they are being talked about, speak on it from a different perspective, a more potent perspective. I am Sky Ra. I'm a filmmaker, cosmic consultant, and anthropologist. Yes.
You an
And
anthropologist now? What is
yes,
that?
man. It is basically someone who studies human nature, humankind through time. So not really an historian, not really an archaeologist, but studying more so present day human behavior and trying to come to conclusions based off of those findings. And that could be something like what I'm doing right now, working on the Dark Martian documentary, where literally going to take a camera around and interview Black people about mushrooms, their experiences, the history, it culturally, how it influences their moods, all of these things, and that is a study within anthropology. So that's what that is. And I'm also just an amazing, happy person, and I wish everyone to be that. We come here, like I said, to talk about the potent things, the grand things, but make it simple for everyone to understand. So we can all actually gain some knowledge from these topics and it not just be like a hot take. So that's why we're here, guys. That's why we're here. And I'm sure today, me and Jamo are going to talk about some fire stuff. I also have a podcast called The Podcast of Earth. It is called that because it is the podcast of Earth. And on this podcast, I talk to people who are doing things that will possibly be felt um, 50, maybe 100 years to come. And so Jamero is going to be my next guest. And so today we're kind of giving you a nice little preview of what that's going to feel like, taste like, smell like, and pause. And yeah, so let's do
Nah, you don't gotta pause, man. It's cool.
it. No,
This,
I
this is
got to.
no,
I
this is a
got you
no,
for comedic
this
purposes.
is a no pause zone.
So yeah, man. What we talking about today, man? How we getting into it, man?
Uh, all right, so we're gonna get right to it. So, well, first off, shout out to everybody who popped in here. Do me a favor at the beginning of all our podcast shows, lives, whatever. I want y'all to send this out to everybody in your list. Just hit that arrow button and then shoot it out to some folks. We definitely want to get the numbers up and get exposed to as many people as possible. So make sure y'all go ahead and do that. Yeah, go ahead, share that shit. Um, all right, so look, so I was actually thinking about the podcast that we're gonna do, and I was just thinking about it like, cool, we gonna be talking about relationships, right? Male female relationships,
The
the male female
dynamic, yeah, the
dynamic.
dynamic between
How
feminine and
we
masculine energy.
how do we integrate with each other, right?
Hmm.
So at this point, like, do you feel like this conversation is like overkill at this point, or do you feel like it's still more stuff that we can talk about?
It's definitely more stuff that we could talk about. I can understand why you say it's overkill because literally everybody's talking about it. But what I see on the internet is everybody talking about this conversation from different perspectives, or let's bring it to that example that we brought up the other day, different classrooms. So you have, let's just make it real simple. You got the slow class talking about this.
Damn.
You got the intermediate class talking about this. You got the honors class talking about this. And then you have the scholars talking about this. And so we want to come from a scholarly perspective when we're talking about feminine and masculine energy, because it's honestly the things we're going to say is almost age old. Like it's stuff that
Right.
as it's timeless, and it's just that we're in a realm of distraction and manipulation. So like we don't really know what it. To be honest, most of us don't know how to be in an actual relationship, where we've been taught how to be from culture. So hip hop, TV shows, movies, whatever, and then we've built our personality around relationships, and now we express through that. But we never stop to think about like, okay, how should I be in a relationship as a man, and what works? And so through trial and error, me and Jamero have definitely come to some grand conclusions. And I definitely want to share some of those today, just a little bit, because like I said, it's a preview. But yeah, it's definitely not overkill. I just think that there's different perspectives about this conversation, and where you align and tap in is where you align and tap in.
So, like right now, why do you feel like why do you feel like it's such a discussion? Like, why is relationships talked about so much? Because if you really think about it, like pre-pandemic, we wasn't really talking about the male female dynamic. We was just enjoying dating, getting married, having sex, doing whatever we was doing in whatever space, and it literally wasn't popular to have like an opinion about relationships. So why right
Yeah.
now is it so popular to talk about relationships?
Um, and again, fair warning to everybody that's watching that will be watching. Again, I'm coming from the highest place that I can come from within my being when I'm answering these questions. Um, so I won't be like trying to cut any corners. I'm gonna just get straight to it. Um, One, we never really knew, especially this generation and the one before, how to truly be in a dynamic. Um, but then two, right now we're going through an actual awakening. So the awakening I feel that occurred in 2012 was for the way showers. So that awakening was for the people who are dedicating their lives to be an example for others. Right now we're coming into a new awakening in 2020, I guess, where I would say now more people, I won't say the average person, but more people are actually awakening truly and not exercising within words that they've read, like living within regurgitation. But now actually we're getting to the actual healing. We're actually transforming ourselves. And so because this is now the real time of awakening, well, what is to me the most basic foundation for life here is man and woman. And we need to get that correct first before we can actually move forward in other ways of awakening. So if we don't know how to treat our partners, if we don't know how to treat the other side of our being, how can you reach some sort of enlightenment or evolution within yourself? So that's why it's a hot topic right now because it needs to be, because it's never been figured out and now it needs to be. This is the age of information.
So do you feel like we've been exposed to too much information right now? I mean, that's what I think. I think we get so many ideas from so many different podcasts and shows where before you would actually have to have built up an audience through actually touching people and building and giving people value.
Mhm.
Now we're in a position to where you can build up an audience about doing something silly. You can be ratchet, you could be messy, you could be violent, you can be controversial, or you could just be a good marketer. And now you have a market, and now you got an audience. And now with this
Mhm.
audience, people get your information and your content, and they spreading it all over the place based on, like I said, the marketing, based on if they feel like it can get clicks and views. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So at this point in life, do you feel like it's too much info? Like, do you feel like we like over the capacity, or how do we navigate all of this info? Because we got it all. We got the whole world at our hands right now.
Yes. The answer for me is yes and no. I would say yes because obviously, like you said, we went from the media that we saw was just the movies that they put out and whoever had a television show. Now everybody has a television show.
Hmm.
So yes, in that respect, there's a lot of information, there's a lot of content, and a lot of people showing their lives and saying their opinions, which is leading to information. Now, I would say no because I would say that this is so there is a lot of because I feel like there's the clashing of frequencies, the clashing of realities, and where do I want to go with this? We, in order to get to the point that we want to get to within ourselves, we need all of this. We need all of this information. Now, how do you navigate it? It's the age-old phrase: you go within. So for me right now, I know myself. I know who I am and where I want to be and where I want to go. I know my soul. So because I know my soul, you could show me uh, an ad You know, or you can show me a podcast where there's niggas on there talking about, yeah, man, I took this pill and I enhanced my penis, 12 inches or whatever, some crazy shit, right? Well, I could not know myself and be like, wow, this looks crazy. Like, what pill is it? What chemical? And start doing that or whatever. And now I'm washed away up in a lifestyle or a way of life that I would have never gone in had I known myself. And so I gave that example because that was a pretty wild one, but there's so many different avenues that you can think of where it's just information coming to you and we sift through it. And the only way to sift through it is to know yourself. So you got to be able to know like what you resonate with and what you don't, what makes sense to you and what doesn't. And I think that having, I would say elderly wisdom, whether it comes from you or people around you, I think that we need some sort of checking system. You know what I'm saying? So you may learn something and maybe you might want to run it past somebody that's a little older or that's a little more wiser. And you say, hey, what do you think of this? Because again, I feel like we all are fending for ourselves out here in this pool of information. It's like nobody really knows what's right, and you have to just follow your heart. It's like that's where we at right now. You got to follow your intuition and your heart. If you don't have the ability to do that, then you will be led somewhere. So as you see, a lot of people are being led to many different things because they are not following their heart, nor do they have the ability to do so. So to bring it back, is there too much information? Yes, because there's too much information, but no, because you need it.
I got you. And then we had a couple new bodies pop in, so I want to just say what's up to Our Soul Spaces. She's actually one of the people that been supporting over the years, and
Mhm.
she looked at the old stuff and told me like how it impacted her. Also, Queen Mahogany, she's another one. I'm
Hmm.
gonna let y'all know y'all the reason why we on right now because that feedback that y'all gave me about our
Literally.
old videos is what got us back on here. So I want to thank y'all. So to follow up with
And
your
also,
question.
if you want to bring somebody on, feel free, of course.
Oh yeah, anybody want to hop in and hop on a conversation for sure. Especially our soul spaces. I definitely let her talk with you because she always got something good going
Okay.
on. So next question. What's the first toxic podcast that you actually got into and was like really like digging? What's the first one that was just like it wasn't good for you, but it was still entertaining?
Um, and now, and this is me being honest, like I never got too deep into the toxic podcast, but I will say that even though I never really liked them like that, I would find myself still catching those clips of Fresh and Fit.
Oh yeah,
I
Fresh and Fit is
was still, yeah, I'm
Fresh and
like,
Fit
oh,
is
they assholes,
Fresh and Fit is classic. I still like Fresh and Fit.
they assholes. But then I'm like, ooh, what they say? Damn, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm still being entertained by it. But yeah, I would, if there was one, I would say that one. I would say that one.
Okay. Now I just thought about something. You know who kicked this all off was Kevin Samuels. And I think Kevin Samuels, with him having his run after he passed away, we had all that content to really sit back and think about. Some people was like he's this or he's coming at
Hmm.
females too crazy or he's being disrespectful or does he like black women? But also it was people like, hey, he was actually making some sense and he was actually
Hmm.
kicking some bars. So then it was like the spin-offs of the remakes of what he already said. And I think that's what
Mm.
birthed the
Mm.
relationship podcast because before it was Kevin Samuels versus everybody. It was Kevin Samuels versus everybody.
Yes.
Then he passed away, and it's like everybody got something to say now. You know what I mean? And now everybody's the expert. Now everybody's the next Kevin Samuels. So he's truly the godfather of the relationship podcast.
I would say that, and then I would say that Andrew Tate was like his nephew. You know what I'm saying? Like right around that time, Andrew Tate was talking about the whole high value man. He was also hated. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna give the credit to Kevin Samuels because he had an actual like sit down podcast where he brought people on and he actually talked about it. So yeah, I'll
And
give
you
it to
know,
Kevin Samuels.
And you know what? He brought a new term into our culture. Speaking of anthropology, anthropology is the study of human culture and the development of culture.
Hmm.
So this new term, high value man, came into
Yeah.
our space. place. And
which
now
we
we got
needed.
different people making different definition of what a high value man is. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what really tipped it off. Now it's just like, cool, this is what how women are, and this is how men are. And a man, if you want to be make if the man wants to have his woman be a certain way, then he has to be
Mm-hmm.
a high value
Uh-huh.
man. What is a high value man?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Kevin Samuels described it as a certain way, and really the rest of the world describe it as like a six-figure earner. And then that evolved from like, okay, he's a six-figure earner, but what if he's a dickhead? What if he's an asshole? What if he beats your ass? What if he don't like your mama? So now
Mm-hmm.
it's like, what really is a high value man? So actually, I know this has been beaten to the dirt already, but we gonna circle back around. What is a high value man to you? And Skyra's presence of a quality man. What is a high value man described as?
Yeah, definitely give me a second with this one because I've never even tried to define this. So I'm gonna definitely just kind of say what's on my mind, what's coming to my mind. Um, Definitely the first thing for me, not the most important, but one of the first things that comes to me is confidence. And I say that it may sound cliche, but a lot of men aren't confident. And it's for a myriad of reasons. I can speak for myself. I had trouble with confidence over the last 2 years. Confidence, um, authoritative, um, uh, 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 willing, um, deliberate. Um, it's the word I'm looking for. Driven. That's the word I'm looking for. Driven. Um, I would say also in love with love and what that means. Knowing what love is. Knowing what love is. Um, I would say one of the more important things is understanding feminine energy and how
Mm.
it moves and why it moves the way it does. And we're because I say that I'd rather say understanding feminine energy and less of understanding a woman. Because if you understand feminine energy, then you understand anything that possesses that energy, which is also very important because there's other aspects of living that possess feminine energy that you need to know. Um, and I may stop there and let you answer
So so
because I'm
so
sure
so
there's more, but that's like,
so does the amount of money a man makes in your vision make him high value or not?
mm, no.
That was so hard.
It was hard ah, and it's a slow no.
And
So
I'm gonna ask the audience too. Does the amount of
yeah.
money that a man
So
make, does that qualify him as high value or not high
and
value?
let me give my answer because it may sway over to yes slightly. I say no because to me, it's really about the foundation that the man provides. I think that the focus should be on providing for your family and providing enough providing enough for your family. And so then it kind of sways to yes, because if you understand the feminine energy and if you really, to me, want your woman to thrive, then you will want her to have everything that she needs. So I think that so we go to that driven word or that deliberate word. I think that a man, high value man, should be driven for success. And often with success comes a nice amount of money. So that's why I was like, no, with a little inch of yes, because I'm trying to make a nice amount of money. I'm trying to make more than enough. I want to have more than enough. So there's my answer. Yes. A high value man to me is driven to make more than enough. And in today's society, that's a nice amount of money.
All right.
And
So
and bring a purpose really good.
so in the chats, we got a mix between some yes and some no's. Our soul space said it's a slow no. Yeah,
Slow no.
baby love said it's a yes and a no. She also said a man of value, money is gonna flow regardless. There we go.
And that's kind of what I
Oh,
was getting at towards the end. Yeah,
there we go. You know
that's
what
an
I'm
answer right
saying?
there.
And Queen Mahogany said, like he said, he can have all the money and a lack of other things. And yeah, definitely.
Right. So
Uh,
that's why
so
it's not a quick yes. It's definitely not a yes. It's like it's complicated, but yeah.
so for me, a high value man, and and it's interesting because I never heard this definition ever. I never heard the
Me-
definitions that we talk about for high value ever.
mhm.
But first off, over everything is integrity. Like
Mm.
that's the
100%.
foundation of it all. Like, nigga,
100%.
are you even a good human being?
Whew.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mhm.
that's where the value starts. Like, do
Mhm.
you have a good heart? You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, it's about having integrity, and it's also about wanting to be a better man every day and
Yes.
wanting to be a father. What bothers me right now is I see all like, and it's not just on the women, of course. I look on the internet, it'd be like friends, homegirls, it'd be girls that I just know, acquaintances on the
Mhm.
internet. I look up and they pop up pregnant, boom,
Mhm.
and I watched the whole pregnancy on the internet, a whole 9 months of celebrations. Not
Mhm.
one time do I see a man in the picture.
Yeah.
So I'm like, is
And that's
this
often.
man, do these men even want to be fathers? We got a lot of men that end up being fathers, but
Mhm.
who wants to be a father? Who's looking forward to being a father? To me, that's high value. So having a good heart, having a good foundation, look forward to being a man and look forward to the man responsibilities, you know? Now when it comes to money, hold on, I think we got a request. Y'all hold tight. We're gonna get to y'all in a second for the people that requested. When it comes to money, money is valuable. You know, money is a tool for us to continue to grow and build and cultivate things. So yes, you do have to be making some money. And if you are a valuable person, you will be compensated for your value
Yes.
in some capacity. So if you're making a little money, I can't say that you're a high value man because you can't really invest in a woman and invest in your family if you don't got your personal foundation together. And your personal foundation together is your bills, your security, your housing, your fun, your leisure. Once you get all of that taken care of, then you can kind of move into the high value space because if you don't have let's say fun money for yourself, you took care of all your bills but you don't got fun money. Now you're in a relationship and you splitting fun money with a woman, so now you
Which is
half-ass happy.
taking away from your own happiness too.
You know what I'm saying? And that's
Mhm.
going to take away from your value because you can't truly be high value and give a
Mhm.
woman a half-ass experience or give yourself a half-ass experience.
Mhm.
And part of dating is fun. Like if y'all can't go have fun together comfortably, then this is kind of a terrible dating situation.
That is an
So
amazing point.
so whatever so whatever the average income is or the average situation for your age group or for your competition, because at the end of the day, this whole dating thing is a competition.
Mhm.
We all competing for love and compete for people.
Mhm.
So whatever the average is to be considered high value, you have to be at least above whatever the average is
More
to
than
me.
enough. Yep.
So money matters because
Yes.
when a man don't got his money right, he ain't right. We
Nope.
all know this.
Yep.
And it's hard enough to just be a man. It's hard enough to build your empire, and it's also hard enough to cultivate a relationship. So if you're lacking in the financial department, or not even lacking, just below average, it's
Mhm.
gonna be tough.
Yeah.
Even
And
if you even
good.
if you average yourself, it's going to be hard for you to excel as a man and walk around with that confidence. Because you
Mhm.
even said a high value man has to be confident. If
Yes.
you know your pockets ain't right, and you with your peers and they can do things that you can't do,
Mhm.
and be places that you can't be, you know it's gonna mess with you subconsciously. So you can't really step outside and really be like, hey, I'm really a man out here
Yeah.
if the pockets is lacking.
Yeah. And just to piggyback, yeah. So if the question was flipped and it would say, "Can a high value man have low income?" It's a quick no. It's a quick no. And just to piggyback off JMO, I had experiences where I did not feel high value, and I knew it, and I kind of like closed my. I didn't want to date. I didn't want to date. I don't want to talk to nobody because I know I ain't got no damn money. I barely got money for myself, and I'm trying to make sure I'm good. My child is good. I'm trying to get to a place, and during that time, I truly did not want to talk to anyone, even though there was like one or two people who was approaching. One, oh, I can be here for you. I can like the whole help me through the struggle shit. No, that's old. We're not doing that. I don't want you to help me through the struggle. I want to get myself together, and then I'll contact you because that's when I feel high value. That's when I feel confident. that's when I know I can break out the wallet and we can go on a nice little date and have some fun. Annie says, what about a high value woman?
Oh, that's
Annie,
Annie.
yeah, that's Annie. So that's the
What's
guy.
good, Annie?
So that's Annie, the guy right there. Look, Annie, we probably would have to get to a high value woman another time. Um, agreed. Vibration
Annie,
does best vibration. Go
Annie,
ahead.
what you need to know that this is a man show and we talking about man shit. Okay? So don't come in here talking about all this high vibrational woman shit. We about to get real misogynistic in this thing. I'm messing with you. Don't kill me, Annie, please.
Oh shit. Um, I'm laughing because it's Annie. Like
She probably over there like this nigga. Hold on.
these niggas is crazy. Please don't call me Annie because I feel like you won't interrupt the live. Um, nah, I think that we should speak on how what we feel a high value woman is for sure. Just a little later.
Uh, what what
But
what
yeah,
what I, what I like about what we doing is a lot of podcasts and stuff. They talk about women and talk about the state of women and what
mhm,
women need to do and how women got to be. I like with us, we always start with the men. So
absolutely.
the concept is yes, we all agree across the board that men are the leaders naturally,
Yes.
and it's best when we lead and it's best when we take care of women in that department. So even with this, we can definitely talk about the issues that we have with women and we could talk about what women need to be and what a high value woman is. But let's
Mhm.
establish as men what is high value men. What does that mean for us, and how do we have to be before we start shooting shots or before we like really go in that world? You know what I'm saying? Let's get us together. So this is something that we always gonna do on all our podcasts. We always gonna talk about the men
Yeah.
first. Of course, we got definitely conversations and we can have our gripes and all of that, and they're definitely gonna be expressed. But we always gonna tackle the men stuff first, just so y'all know.
Absolutely.
Annie,
Yeah.
don't kill me, Annie,
And
please. I'm scared. I'm
and
nervous.
and to his credit, Kevin Samuels also did that. A lot of people give him flack, but this man, I've watched about at least 7 clips of him going in on men, and men calling them being overweight, not having money, coming up with excuses, and he would chop them up too. So I think that because we are men, of course, we're going to address men first, and then well, of course we got something to say about women because we want women, so we know what we want, and we also know what we don't want. And so I think at this point we can definitely give a definition of I don't even know if I would call it a high value woman, but just I don't know what term I would use, but just that woman, her, yes, we do have definitions and preferences for that for sure.
And Aurora here said, she said, we can't be high value unless we're led by a high value man. That's interesting. That's a conversation right
So
there. So wait. So I want to know what the audience thinks. So she said, actually I'm gonna pin that. And like I said, if y'all want to hop in here with us, feel free to send a request. But I'm gonna pin this right here because that's a great talking point. Women can't be high value unless they're led by a high value man. Chat. What do y'all think about that? Is that accurate? Y'all agree or disagree? Because I feel like that is a great talking point.
hmm
Oh,
definitely have
Queen
my opinions on that.
Queen Mahogany agrees.
You better say
So,
it, girl.
because that can go two ways. Because it's like, so you saying that a woman doesn't get her value until she gets in a union with a man and is led properly, or just led. And it's crazy at this point in life. We can't even say certain words without having like a PTSD of being like, oh, are they being misogynistic or are they being sexist? You know what I'm saying? But like,
We passed that, and look, we're going to address that, and we won't. After a while, we're not going to. So I'm glad you're saying it now, so we got these clips. We'll cut them up and show it. But it's like moving forward, like I don't care what you think. We're gonna say what we need to say, and we're not gonna keep doubling back to oh, we ain't misogyny. Nah, fuck
yeah,
that. But go ahead. I just wanted to say
Yeah,
that.
yeah, I've
Yeah.
been over that, but I'm just saying,
Yeah.
like low key, we got PTSD. I got PTSD. Every
Yeah.
time I say something that I naturally just want to say and stand on, I be thinking like, oh, somebody gonna be offended by that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
mean, I really, you know me, I don't give a fuck. But
Yeah. No, I get you. I'm the same way too. I'm saying that's when I'm saying that I'm saying that to both of us. Like, nah, fuck that. We need to get all this shit. But yeah, I
yeah,
got you.
so Aurora the healer, she said, she said you need a good man to teach you how to be a lady. And then she said, Daddy GPA somebody or Daddy Grandpa somebody. Oh yeah, I got that. Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Let me comment on what she's saying as far as like daddy, grandpa. I think that a father can definitely train and teach his daughter how to be a high value woman. I do feel that way. But then on the other aspect, I feel like once that woman goes into the world, yes, she does need to find a high value man to be led by because I'm going into a different conversation, but men possess those leadership characteristics and qualities. We have a certain connection with source, and our connection with our logic allows us to be good leaders. Women sometimes lack in some of those categories, so therefore, but they of course excel in others, and that is what makes the dynamic what it is.
Yeah,
But when we're talking about
yeah,
leadership, yeah, let me clean it
yeah.
up.
Clean it
Yeah,
up.
we still in cleaning up phase right now. In all though, when it comes to leadership though, men are leaders, and so a woman would. I mean, if I wasn't a leader and I needed leadership, I'm going to seek for leadership. I mean, I do it now. So in a dynamic in a partnership, yes, that should be the case.
And you know what's crazy is like at the end of the day, men and women need to be led by men. Like, now don't get me wrong,
Yes,
are there some certain circumstances where you have to follow the lead of a woman? Absolutely. I'm not saying
absolutely.
that women are not great
Hmm.
leaders, but I think we all can agree that men were built to
To
lead
be.
and our value lies in leading. Now the crazy part about it, and this is my concept, a woman can lead, cool, but I feel like ultimately what a woman is gonna lead is when she becomes a parent, when she has kids, she's gonna lead those troop of kids. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that alone is like 15 jobs. So if you asking a woman to have children, to take care of her husband, to take care of the house, and lead, it just don't even make sense. That's too much. You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, we gotta like divvy up these responsibilities. And if men are willing to lead and willing to sacrifice and willing to take those hits and better at it, you know what I'm saying? Because that's our job.
Mhm.
Literally, it's our job to lead. You know what I mean? And when we say better at something, it's not a shot at nobody else. You know what I'm saying? So even with us, we have to be led by men as well. You know what I mean? Like we
Yes.
have to we have to listen to our fathers, our grandfathers. We have to listen to whoever the team captain is. We have to listen to our mentors. In the military, everything is a hierarchy. Like
Yes.
we are hierarchy based, and we don't have no beef with the hierarchy because we know that works best. We know it's a pecking order in things. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a
Yeah.
beef. It's not a beef with leadership. So even for us to come to become supreme men, we have to find our pecking order and we have to get in line and get in order as well. Like order is everything. But I think the janky part about the world right now is people are like going against order and they're going against things that make sense. And we all feel like we can make our own way. It's like we are like very anti-tradition right now. And the reason why tradition is because years and generations it's worked. These traditions work, but now we
Hmm.
like anti-tradition. We anti-religion. We anti uh, traditional relationships. We're
Hmm.
anti roles. You know what I mean? And once you start breaking all that ice of tradition, now we in a space to now we got to figure out a new way from scratch. And this is why we all lost in the sauce.
Earth is ran on rules. Liberation does not fit. Earth is ran on rules and structure. Liberation does not fit. And what I mean by liberation is this fun boy new age liberation crap that they got going on right now, where you feel like you shouldn't be following any structure, any logic, any rules. And I think that what I blame is spirituality and social media combined. Because some
Wait,
people wasn't totally.
wait. You blaming spirituality?
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
Wait,
100%.
so ain't you a spiritual person?
I have a spirit.
Oh, hold on. You trying to get fancy? Yeah, I have a spirit.
No, wait, because
So
that's
so
that's
so
two different
you
conversations now.
so you wouldn't consider yourself to be like a spiritual man?
At this point, no. I consider myself to be an aware human being
No. Okay.
because awareness comes with the understanding that I have a spirit. So therefore, I don't need to go at the branches. Let's get to the root of it. I'm aware. Um, but I feel like spirituality and social media and whoever's putting out the narratives has projected this reality that we should all be free and be able to do whatever we want. And that literally doesn't even work. Imagine if you said that to your child. They wouldn't even know how to be a human. And so why do we feel like that shouldn't continue on? If you needed structure and margins to grow into the free thinking person you are, why wouldn't you keep using margins and whatnot to keep growing to continue to be the free thinking person that you are? As I said, spirituality has painted a picture that we can just believe in whatever we want to believe in and do whatever we want to do, and life will be great and we'll be happy. And it's just not true.
But
Because you see a go ahead.
it is true though, because we can manifest anything. So we can do whatever we want, and when shit gets fucked up, we can just manifest
You,
something different, right?
you know what they never told us about manifestation? They never said that manifestation had time parameters. Listen to this one clearly. For the people who feel like you can just manifest tomorrow, 99.9 times out of 10, you won't. Because there's a space in time called process between the words that you speak and the fruition of the object or the experience. And so when we're talking about, oh, I can just manifest, you can put out a thought now, and that manifestation may not be for 2 years. So what are you doing in the meantime, in between time? Again, this is why awareness is key and not spirituality, because awareness brings you beyond what I feel spirituality is giving us. We need to understand the mechanisms and the actual way that our reality works. Like, we need to understand how reality works, yo. Has anybody even said that to y'all? Like, you need to understand how reality works. Like, it's an important thing. So I'll land the plane by saying that, man. Like, I just feel like there's no foundation for tradition because they trying to get rid of it so they can just make you do whatever they want you to do, because if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. And it is levels to this shift.
Church. So, Baby Love says some of us are lost, but many of us are finding ourselves through meditation, gaining knowledge, and stepping into our higher selves. Absolutely.
Yes. And so, and that's the beauty. And I don't want to create this like negative picture. Like, that's the beautiful thing about spirituality. I'm not trying to act like, oh, spirituality should be for no one and we should just toss it out in the wind, out in the trash can. No, I'm saying, if you're asking me where I am today, this is what I'm saying. But spirituality allowed me to see that I can think differently. And I had to go on this journey then to realize that even though I'm thinking differently, some things have to stay the same. So these different thoughts can be.
All right, and our soul spaces said, "We speak in fact, spirituality have you flowing into the ocean and not coming back." See, that's what they're not talking about. Awareness keeps you grounded and coming out that ocean flowing. Hey, ooh, she can. Oh, I gotta pin that one.
And let me add on to that. I like to say awareness is going into the ocean with the damn boat, with the sail,
Knowing, look,
knowing.
hey,
Go ahead, say
knowing
it.
knowing that it's something out there for you,
Mm-hmm.
and having awareness is also knowing that the answers is in the water, but having
Mm-hmm.
awareness is also knowing that that water can end you like that,
Yes,
and not just be like, I'm going to the answers until
yes.
you wash up on the shore, you know what I'm saying, or get eaten by something, knowing that this is a journey to get to this, but let's find the practical way to get to it. We know it's out there,
Yes.
but let's just not jump off the cliff and hope for the best.
And awareness says, okay, I'm like I said, I'm gonna go out in the ocean. I'm not gonna just be on a raft. Let me have a sail. Because I understand that the ocean has its own way of being. But what I can do at the very least is ride that. You know what I'm saying? Because you can't go up against it. So you got to ride with it. So it's like you got the sail, you're doing your thing, knowing that you're taking the journey, You don't direct the motion of the ocean, but you can ride that motherfucker. And that is enlightenment right there.
Awareness is also like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, let me find somebody else that knows it's something out there that's
Mm.
maybe been out there before, and
Mm.
maybe they can guide us through this journey. You know what I'm saying? And so let's dig into awareness real quick, because awareness is this is my favorite topic on earth, because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like so many people are lacking awareness. It's like mind blowing.
Mm-hmm.
So awareness. Now, this is the definition I came up with for awareness. Awareness is like the ability to absorb and understand and experience multiple perspectives and use it with your own experience to come up with a conclusion. Now,
Whoa.
so hear me out. We about
That
to
is
dig in.
fucking fire. Go ahead. All right.
Because when it comes to awareness, you don't have to believe everything everybody says, but what you do have to know is to have perspective.
Mm.
So I believe with a lack of experience, you lack perspective, then you're gonna lack awareness.
Yes.
So when me and you talk and you tell me about something I've never heard before, if
Mm.
I close my windows down for that completely and be like, man, Skyver's crazy, he don't know what he's talking about. I closed my door for awareness
Mm.
because you're going to give me a different perspective. We can actually probably have the same conclusion. You know what I'm saying? But if I close my doors to what you're talking about, I don't get your perspective. Now,
Yes.
if I talk to Skyr, if I talk to Don, if I talk to Jimmy, John, Billy, Joe, and I get all of their different perspectives from all across the globe, now I have awareness because next time something comes to me, I can be like, you know what? Joe said, this was his perspective of what the sky was. And
Mm-hmm.
then Bobby, who was indigenous, said this is his perspective of the sky. Now, it doesn't align with what I believe the sky is. I believe just the sky is blue. But when that comes up again, I'm gonna be like, oh, well, I got this perspective and this perspective and this perspective. So when different people say different things, I got enough awareness to be like, oh, I can make it make sense because this Native American dude told me this, and this dude that lives by the ocean told me this, and this dude Skyra that reads all of these books gave me his perspective. So now I can get all of this and gain a new awareness to know what are the options. I still got to make my own conclusion at the end of the day, but the
Mm-hmm.
more perspectives I get, the more access of awareness that I have. So if you don't have experiences, you don't have awareness because somebody can come at you with something and then if you don't accept it, or if you blocking it, or if you deny it because of your lack of awareness, at this point, once the door is closed, you're not aware. So gaining all these new perspectives is what awareness is to me, and be able to challenge and channel those perspectives, put it in your own experience, and come up with your own conclusion. That's what awareness is to me.
I have absolutely nothing to add. That was fire. Um, I'll add some other stuff like as far as what that looks like in the future, and I'll say that in a second. But I just wanted to say, man, that was great, and that's why I push so many people to be human, and not like the spiritual being, like because being human is going to gain you these experiences that will create the wisdom that will allow you to have the awareness that Jamo was talking about. And what I want to say is what this looks like in practical terms, maybe in the future, maybe is a society where, like he said, we're all sharing our perspectives. So let's just say we have a society. There's 100 people, and in the middle of this town or this whatever village, there's what we call a library of information and knowledge. And so these 100 people, they go out and they experience their days. They farm, they observe, they do all kinds of things, and at the end of the day, let me show my laptop is on time. At the end of the day, everybody comes back to the library and they share what they've learned. And then they all compare what everyone has shared. So we're looking at what Bob said, we're looking at what Joe said, we're looking at what Jamos, everybody said. And then we all sit down and we come to some sort of conclusion and then we move forward from that point. And I'm sharing that because I'm just putting that idea out there for people to like think about like that's how that's how that could look practically. And you don't, that doesn't have to be a whole town. This could be your household. We rely so much on like media when it comes to knowledge versus ourselves and our experiences. And if we rely more on ourselves and our experiences, we wouldn't be so confused and lost in the ocean. And we'd be more rooted in what we've actually experienced and what we've seen versus what just people are just telling you. Because either way, no matter what someone is saying to you, you still have to like show and prove. So you still have to find some sort of like reference point or some sort of way to prove that this person is saying this. So that needs to be proven over time. That's a process. So then that kind of goes directly against this whole quick information microwave society that we got going on right now. Yeah, it's going to take us a whole year to actually realize that there's another planet out there. It's going to take a year. It ain't going to be just, oh yeah, we just like nah, like it's a time. And so I just wanted to piggyback on the awareness thing and say that because I always want to bring it to like, okay, well, how could we apply this now in terms of awareness? But as far as what JMO's saying and a direct application for that, I would just say one, set the intention that you want to be aware. Set the intention that you want awareness in your life and that you want more of a grander perspective on what's going on. And I feel like observation is the road to awareness. Observation without judgment.
Okay, and then shout out to CC Taylor. She blessed us with a badge. So you definitely
Thank you.
appreciate the love.
Appreciate it.
Definitely appreciate the
Yes,
love and
yes.
support as always. And I'm glad whatever we talking about did something for you. Hopefully it's doing something for everybody else. So I got the same question for the chat. What is awareness to you? What does that mean to be aware? And I man, look, I really feel like my level of awareness is so far past most people's, and
It
I think it kind of like separates me from people, not in a good way. Like I feel like
is.
when you have too much
Explain,
awareness,
explain, and then tell me how that makes you feel, though. Also,
yeah, I think when you have too much awareness, you kind of live in your own world because my perspective is always so much different from everybody else's. Even though I can get their perspective, but also when you seen that perspective fail so many times with
hmm
so many different people, like you know what, this ain't the way. So
hmm
let me go this other way, and it's hard to be relatable to people. It's like I almost, and this is being super transparent. It's
hmm
almost like I gotta play like a game with people just to like be human still, because
hmm
most humans move a certain type of way, and most humans relate on a certain frequency. And when we elevate, we all want to elevate, we all want to vibrate high, but I've experienced vibrating high to the point to where other humans are not even relatable.
yes,
For instance, even on a micro level, let's say
hmm
when you graduate from, and we went to the club before, so it ain't like, I'm not gonna act like we don't club, but like you go to the club, right?
hmm
Let's just say you got out of that space. Let's say you got out of the drinking space. Let's
right,
say you got out of the drug space. Let's say you got out of that frequency, right? You can't relate to the things that people, the pleasantries that people get from those spaces. You can no longer relate. You
100%.
are aware that there are pleasantries in that space, but like, hey, bro, you know what? That ain't my thing no more. Even when it comes to certain food, you know what I'm saying? Every
hmm
weekend we, I mean, eat what you want to eat is cool, but like bacon, we all know bacon is trash. You know what I'm
hmm
saying? It's just like, hey, look, we having a cookout. You know what I'm saying? And I got these pork chops. I got this pork this and this pork that and this pork that. But once you graduate from eating pork, you like, you know what, bro? I can't even go over there. It's like
Yeah,
you get to the point to where first I don't eat it.
hmm
Now that I don't eat it, I don't even want to smell it. Now that I don't smell it, I actually don't even want to be around it.
yeah,
So from those little baby steps, it's so many things that you graduate from and you elevate to. It
hmm
sometimes gets to the point to where you isolate it because it's like, well, who are the high functioning, high vibrational people have to think the way I think, and it's not a lot of people who've graduated to that level. And eventually, you can really, be by yourself, be lonely. Like the journey to enlightenment is actually very lonely because who can you really relate to?
because a lot of people aren't on the journey to enlightenment, um, and so you're right. It is a lonely journey. And I think that should be talked about a little more. I think the examples that you're giving are great because I think people really need to understand that they're truly like it's a fun phrase to say and all that, but there really are levels, and there are people who are literally living on different levels of life. They experience different things. There are things that me and JMO experience separately and together that I know people like it will be a foreign concept for them, but it's a regular thing for us. And I would think hearing that would inspire people. Because for me, if I wasn't where somebody else is saying they are, I would be trying to wonder, like, well, how the hell do I get my mind, my consciousness to be there? In a healthy society, I think that would happen, where people will be inspired by other people's evolutions of their own consciousness. But it's just not it right now, So it's a little different. But yeah, it's lonely. I've definitely gone through loneliness. Many nights in the car alone, doing mushrooms, having thoughts. You know what I'm saying?
And that and
So,
that leads me to the next point.
mhm.
Being lonely and being in that dark space is part of awareness because you have to isolate.
Just
This
go ahead, do
is
your thing. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is bro. This is hey, look, this is all just coming to me right now. I'm not even
Uh-huh.
trying to stay on topic or nothing.
No,
This is
and,
this.
and, and, and example, this is when it looks like when a man sees another man doing something, and you know what I mean? That's that. Go ahead.
So damn, I forgot what I was gonna say.
No, no,
No,
the
no, no, no,
contrast,
no,
the
no, no,
contrast, the
no, no, no,
contrast, the
no,
contrast,
no. Yeah, so
the
so
darkness.
being by yourself. So when
Hmm.
you go on the journey of enlightenment, you're gonna realize that like you have to separate from people. And somebody, this is what was sprouted it. Our soul space, he said, it's lonely, and that's why community is important. And
Hmm.
community is important. But a
Hmm.
step before community, when the journey of enlightenment and awareness, you're gonna realize that you want to move different. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, you're gonna have to separate yourself from those crowds. When you separate from yourself from those crowds, you don't find community instantly.
No,
You do not find
no.
community instantly. You gonna find your bed and your couch and your alone space.
Yeah.
So the next part of enlightenment and awareness to me, and this is like not no one way. It's no one way to enlightenment, but this is a way to enlightenment. Cool. You
Hmm.
separate yourself. Cool. You go be by yourself because you need to
Hmm.
reconfigure life. You
Hmm.
know what I'm saying? But then that's when you learn the self love. You learn love after you separate from people because you can separate and be by yourself and then be depressed. And we all
Yes.
go through those depressed spaces. So after you go
Hmm.
through the depressed spaces, you like, wait, why am I depressed? It's just me here. It's like, what? Actually, do I even like myself? Do I even like
Ooh.
being by myself? And these are the things that
Ooh.
come when you isolate, though. When you isolate, it's just you and your thoughts. If you're unhappy in those spaces, I ain't gonna lie to you. For me, it was like, nigga, do you even like you? Because it's just me and you. It's just Jamero and Jamero. And I'm just sitting here looking at myself, spirit and human. And it's a beef here. Why is there a beef here? And then you go on that self-love journey. And then that's where the party starts.
Can I just add real quick? I think the beef comes from your soul not resonating with the personality that you dress yourself to be.
Ooh, okay. Talk about it.
Yeah, like that's the beef. It's like internally you feel this warring. You don't like all right. Because I think I'm because when you say not liking being alone, I'm trying to remember that for me because I know I was there. I don't think it lasted super long. Um, but I think I started to, like you said, I started to like fall in love with myself. But my soul, I started to enrich my soul, like enrich my consciousness, and that allowed me to see my personality. So I stepped back from me, and then you have to do the work of questioning you. So when I did mushrooms for the first time, and on New Year's, and I realized I didn't want to drink alcohol on New Year's, so that was me, my soul saying this isn't us. And then I told me, Akeem at the time, we not doing this.
Mm.
So now Akeem and soul are unified, and then that journey, you continue that journey, of course, because there's gonna be other things. But I used to do this, but I don't want to do that no more. Because you like, well, why am I doing it? Like that's a lot of people don't ask themselves that question. Why am I doing this? And if you keep asking yourself that question every time you do something, you'll know if you like doing something or not. Because if you like, well, why am I doing this? And the first thing is, well, such and such told me to do it. Stop, stop, stop. Even if you like doing it, stop, and just reevaluate. Go back into it because you want to do it, not because somebody else says so. But yeah, I think it's just the alignment of the soul or the misalignment of the soul and the personality is why people don't like being with themselves. How could you not? You're you. So there's something wrong. There has to be some sort of, something between you and you.
All right. And so Aurora the Healer said she has to try not to get addicted to solitude because she loves being by herself and it's the easiest thing to do. The challenges
Yep.
come when it's time to be around others. So she got
Yep.
like a flip perspective to where maybe that solitude is her paradise, and it's like now I got to go relate to humans again, you know?
Because the
And
mind and experience is so fickle. Like you can be all the way on one end, and then you can start trickling all the way to the other end. You got to ride that thin line in the middle, that fine silver line. That's what we all. That's awareness is being on that line.
all right, all right, all right. We got
Ah,
a
yay, yay,
special a
yay,
special guest in the house. We got
yay,
Don
yay,
Creates Love,
yay.
the previous Energized by Don, back with, you know, the locks. He had the locks, he cut the locks, he brought the locks back, and now he's a whole new man. But what's going on, boss?
What's going on, bro?
Just chilling. How y'all doing?
Bless, man.
Good,
We
man.
having a nice little topic talking about awareness, talking about how to get awareness, the challenges of awareness. We started talking about relationships, but we just segued over to this. So, you know,
Hmm.
it's up in the air now.
Okay, okay. That's dope.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess Don, just give us a slight little, why do you feel like having awareness is important? Opposed to maybe a spiritual mindset, if you know what I mean.
What is awareness
You know what you
versus
know what I
spirit?
mean, nigga.
What is awareness versus spirituality? Like awareness
Right,
and
you know what I mean,
spirituality is
nigga.
not the same thing. So what is the key differences between being aware and being spiritual? Because you can be spiritual and not be aware. But
Yo, Don on some I just woke up type shit. Nigga said these niggas, dog.
They hit me with a Rick and Morty question. No.
yeah, we already
Um.
hey, look, we already warmed up, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah,
Yeah, we be
yeah, yeah,
firing off,
yeah. Now
bro.
the gears is turning. No, I got the coconut water. It's doing what it need to do. I'm gonna say this. So, I would say an aware person is a person that um can access their will, like their free will, to do as they please in this lifetime. Versus a spiritual person is willed by and possessed by spirit or spiritual forces, kind of like an NPC. The problem a lot of times with this spirituality thing is that um, we don't know what spirit it could be. You know, the devil never comes to you with pitchfork and horns. It's usually with
Mhm.
something fun, tantalizing, seductive. So a lot of people that are in this so-called spiritual community are doing things that feel good, leading themselves to hell. Um, Whereas
Ooh.
an aware person has the awareness to know how far they can
Mm.
go into the abyss of feel good and how far they need to go back towards the light and discipline and doing things that are uncomfortable for self evolution.
Into the
My,
abyss
my
of feel
man,
good.
my man hopped out the
Hey,
bed and turned the
hey,
swag
hey,
on.
this the nigga that came to the game late at halftime. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Hey, and threw up 20 in the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? Like it's cool, man. I'm here. I'm
I'm
here.
here. I'm here, dog. Don't worry. A couple minutes late, but I'm good.
Hey, look, he said in the abyss of feel good and
Mm.
having the awareness to go back to the discipline and the light. God, that's the one. That is the
Yeah.
one. Because we was just talking. So the abyss of feel good. We was just saying that that's the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we know if it's enlightenment in the ocean, it's cool for everybody to go in the ocean, but how deep we gonna go before our awareness tells us we in danger?
Yes.
Yeah.
Versus somebody being like, "Oh, spirit is gonna take care of me," or "I'm gonna manifest something out of this situation to get me back to safety."
Or the ancestors will be here.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
You know, the siren's call has slain many men. They go out into the deep sea thinking
Yo.
that that's a pleasure. Hey,
Yo, this
hey,
podcast crazy, yo.
hey,
Go
hey, this
ahead,
nigga
Joe.
just, hey, this man just got unlimited bars.
they go out into the deep sea thinking that it's a paradise of pleasure, and
Hmm.
really, it's a prison of poison. So you gotta, just use your awareness.
All right, so look, so talking about sirens real quick. Aurora here said, you can be a spiritual demon. So let's get into that because I know we talked a bunch of times, and I said a bunch of times in the world we live in right now, I feel like people are possessed
Yeah.
and they don't even know it. I feel like they are literally I feel like they went through the spiritual journey, right? Of learning what spirituality is, learning about crystals, learning about breathing, learning about different techniques, and opening up channels within their spirit, right?
Yeah.
But I feel like if we go through the spiritual world with no direction, no guidance, or if we just get too open, if we open our spirit up, we can get possessed. And I truly believe it's a lot of people walking in this world possessed. So the reason why that popped up in my head because we talked about sirens. So I see women saying that they are sirens, that they are Lilith, that they are these things that actually have dark entities connected to them. And I feel like that's opening up channels to be possessed. So you talked about sirens. So dig in a little bit on what you think about people calling themselves sirens, people calling themselves Lilith, or the whole era of demon time or Halloween and captivating these spirits. Like, how do you feel like that's actually affecting people in real life?
Um, well, I really just think some people don't understand the magnitude of it. They enjoy the feelings that come with it. Like I was having a talk with my brother the other day, and he was just saying like he knows he has to work on his some of his emotions and his reaction, but he's not gonna lie. It feels good to be angry because you get a charge up from it. So I say that to say, as far as like the siren and demon time, there's a charge up that comes with it, but it starts so sweet and then it ends so sour. So I don't think they're really prepared for what comes on that back end because you do get a charge up. There's dark demonic powers, and it's not anything that's scary like in The Exorcist. It literally can possess your spirit and make you feel good as fuck. But once that high wears off, the downfall is like it's treacherous, it's dreadful. Whereas you know, the light side of things being disciplined, not feeding into instant gratification, not feeding into the demon time and this and that and the siren's call, it's a more difficult road and it takes a longer consistent effort over a period of time, but the fruit that you bear at the end is infinite. So that's
And
what I
I
was.
and I'm gonna piggyback a little bit. I'm not saying exactly what you're saying, but I just think that when spirituality began for a lot of people, which we'll say again 2012, 2014 for a lot of people, it was we did it prematurely. And I think a lot of people got excited. They got excited about being different. And honestly, they got excited about being above others. That's what they really got excited about. And so they wanted to be the person that was connected to, you know, Orishas, and they wanted to be the person that was, doing all of these things that are leading people to this demonic shit. It's like calling on these entities. We went from basically niggas partying, eating fried chicken, smoking weed to calling on entities. What was the process between your partying and eating fried chicken and calling on Orisha? How much time between, and then what happened between? Because it seemed like you eating the fried chicken and you see the YouTube video and then you say, "Oh, Orishas exist. I am whatever, and I move the waters. I am, I am," and you keep claiming this stuff, and then you be this stuff, but you don't know what it is. You don't understand it. So now this possession turns into shit like schizophrenia. That's where it gets dangerous, and it all comes back to a lack of awareness. Here's a hot take. I think that the first awakening was not for most of y'all. It wasn't for y'all. It was for the people who understand and need to tell it to y'all now. But it wasn't for y'all. And a lot of people got swept up in ego and they wanted to be them niggas and niggettes. And now they're possessed. That's my perspective on that
Shout out to the niggas. Hey, look, I got a funny quick story about just awareness and spirituality, and you said fried chicken, bro. It was somebody I was hanging out with, and
one.
they were like a oh so spiritual person, and I got this perspective of them on how they are. I'm thinking they're like me. Like they eat healthy, they meditate, they pray, they drink water, they go into spaces of nature, they ground, they do the practices that I know to work through spirituality. And they do, and they do it a lot on the internet. So I don't know if it's for show or for real. But she was like, I'm hungry. She's like, I'm gonna get something to eat. And she's like, what you want? I was like, you know what? I really don't eat after 9 o'clock. And she said, I'm about to go get some McDonald's. And I was like, McDonald's? I was like, really? That's what you're doing? So she got the McDonald's and came back. She has another homegirl that's so spiritual, hosting classes, doing seminars, all of this. She grabs the McDonald's, start digging in too. And I'm like, nigga, what is happening right now? They fucking the McDonald's up, and then you want to know what they hit me with? They was just like, I know we ain't supposed to be eating McDonald's. Don't judge us, but we gonna alchemize all this shit out of our body anyway. I said,
Mm.
oh, what the fuck world do we live in? Like, you really think you gonna magically like hocus pocus that trash out of your body?
Mm.
Like, and they was serious. They was like, we gonna alchemize this out. We gonna meditate this out of our body. I'm like, oh Lord Jesus, Lord, what is really happening right now?
We gonna meditate on our bodies, and
If
I
uh,
go
if they
ahead.
alchemize that out their body, if they could truly alchemize it, they would have alchemized their craving for it in the first place.
What we talking about? What we talking about? Magic Don Juan Wilson. What are we talking about? Hey, look, our soul spaces here is because the fries is vegan. That's why.
Touche. If we could say that, I don't know if they're actually fries. I think with McDonald's, the food isn't really food, so I think that's the biggest thing. Like people have their vices, their little things they want to go, whatever. But I just feel like with McDonald's, it's really pink goo, and we all know that. So I think that's the thing with the McDonald's thing. If you want to go to Chick-fil-A, get you a sandwich. All right, go ahead, do your thing. Nobody judging. But it's also about the holier than thou persona, and I think that's why we talk about this in the first place.
And just to keep it 100, like, of course, like, I eat good, but I definitely have my cheat days that I have no problem with, talking about. I definitely don't eat McDonald's no more. There's certain things that I cut for life that I'm for
Yes.
sure cut, but I'm definitely go grab me a burger every blue moon, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Definitely go get my sugary snacks every blue moon. But I was having a conversation with Don the other day, and I was like, you know what? And this is real life, real time. This is real time awareness and real time spirituality. Something happened randomly where I just felt down. I didn't even know why. I was just feeling weird. And I told my bro, like I don't know, man. I'm just feeling. Actually, we gonna keep it all the way. We gonna keep it all the way true. I had sex with this girl, right? And the next day, I felt terrible. I went from feeling great to feeling terrible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what the hell is happening with me? I'm feeling depressed, down, doubting myself. And I'm like, you know what? This must be her energy. Yep, I'm blaming her. Because I was like, I don't feel these things. So then I'm like, you know what? I'm in this space. So for me, I'd be like, when I get into those spaces, I unapologetically dive into the dark side. So I was like, you know what? I'm about to go to Tam's and get me a cheeseburger and some fries.
Not Tams.
I had to go to Tam's. You know what I'm saying? Hey, CC, you're more than welcome to join us. Just send me a request and we can get you in here. But I'm like, you know what? I need this home feeling. I need this comfort food. So Tams is my comfort food. It's what I grew up on. So I got my Tams, I got my drink, and I got my fries. Even deeper, I'm so in my spirituality. Even when I cheat, I don't cheat all the way because I wanted to get some ice cream. I was like, you know what? Don't go too crazy. Get your cheeseburger and get your fries, right? So, but then even after that, I wasn't satisfied. I was like, you know what? And I told you this, Sky. I said, I went to 7-Eleven to get a cheesecake. He was like, 7-Eleven got cheesecakes? Like, look, 7-Eleven got these little mini cheesecakes that be hidden. So I went and got my cheesecake, right? So then I came home. And when I came home and laid in the bed, I'm like, all that endorphin rush and all that junk food felt good at the moment. But I laid in my bed and I felt like shit. And I was like, what am I doing? And I was like, it's cool to have your experiences, but I was also like, all right, so are we gonna make a habit out of this? Are we gonna stay in this space? Or are we gonna elevate out of it? And I'm like, you know what? I just went down the dark side of eating some wild shit, so I'm gonna make a shift. So I'm like, you know what? The next day I'm gonna be extremely disciplined, and I'm gonna make up for this nonsense that I just did. So what did I do the next day? I don't have to wake up early in the morning, y'all. I could wake up. I have the luxury to wake up whenever I want to and get whatever work I need to get done. I said I'm gonna wake up before sunrise and go work out. And it's almost like that's the positive punishment I gave to myself. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I shouldn't supposed to be doing that. So I got up at 5:30, got to the gym, got to my work, detoxed all day, did my cayenne pepper lemon shot, and that's where the awareness comes from. You know what I'm saying? Like I know eating these foods is gonna make me feel terrible and perform terrible. So now that I have awareness and discipline and willpower, like Jadon said, that's part of my spirituality. It's my willpower. It's like how do I connect with spirit to will my way through these dark moments. So I got my ass up and I got right. And even from that, I joined a CrossFit gym. And now I wake up at 5:30 in the morning pretty much every day for the last week, and I've been getting it in. So I say all that to say I still go down the dark paths of whatever. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I still smoke a little bit. I might drink a little bit. I might eat a little junk food, some little sugar, some this, some that. Sometimes I might stay up late playing a video game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still human. I still got things that I need to conquer. But when I do these things, I weigh it out like, cool, my awareness tells me, like, cool, you got these pleasantries, but how are these pleasantries going to affect you in your day? And how deep of a dive can you go inside of these pleasantries until you get a negative effect? You know, and anytime I go down a deep dive, that's the balance. So that's just a real life story of awareness and
Yes.
how I balance out still being human.
So,
I got a question,
go
Mercy
ahead.
Million.
Go ahead.
You said when you dove into the dark side, you was like, so is this what we doing now? So who's we?
I mean, I talk to myself. So I got spirit, I got me, I got ego, I got 3D, 4D. I got all of these versions of me that I can access because I've done awareness. I've done enough work to have awareness that I got multiple things happening right now.
And that don't make you
So
feel crazy?
absolutely, I feel crazy every day, but I know I'm not crazy. I
Mm.
feel crazy because I don't have people I can relate to that can say I got 5, 6, 7 people inside of me that I can have a conversation with that they are actually crazy.
Mm.
So I feel crazy because I don't have relatable people, but I know I'm not crazy because I access this all through God and awareness. And thinking you crazy can stunt your awareness. It can stunt your spiritual growth. And that's why it's a super fine line in this spiritual realm because some people can really hear spirits or hear different entities and not know what's what. But at the end of the day, all my entities lead me to light. And when they lead me to darkness, I know what's what. I know that that ain't one of them ones. So I know to be aware of it, and I also know how to push them away or exit them as well.
Mm,
So,
powerful.
so I got a question. So for the people who are here, and somebody might be here and they're like, man, I ain't gonna lie, I was kind of more resonating with spirituality than awareness. Well, how do I become more aware? What would you say? How do I get to the point where I'm more like, you know, I'm analyzing my reality and I'm like seeing it. I'm like, like how'd you get there?
I don't know how people get to awareness. And Don used to ask me all the time, like, how are people born with awareness or do they work towards awareness? For a
Mm-hmm.
long time, I just thought people was born with it, you know. But I could tell you my story through awareness came from just wanting to have a deeper understanding of life. And it started with and this is deep. It started with YouTube, but this is like YouTube in like 2007, 2008.
Mm-hmm.
That was a different YouTube. During
Yes.
that time, you could really look up like spirituality or something and be connected to some ancient Buddhists,
Right.
some real ancient texts, the just all type of stuff that ads and bullshit has covered up now. But I went through my YouTube journey. So the first thing on my YouTube rabbit hole, it was The Secret, and that's like
Mm.
everybody's entry level book to awareness. So
Yes.
I heard about The Secret, and the secret had me so pumped up. I'm like, I need to read it, I need to see it. Found out it was a DVD, found out it was on YouTube, and I watched The Secret, and I realized that like, wait, I know this stuff already. I was so amped up for The Secret. I'm like, man, I'm about to get the gym. That's gonna change my life, right? I watched The Secret and I'm like, I'm doing all this stuff. So I'm like, wait, first you gonna tell me Albert Einstein and all of these philosophers is doing this law of attraction thing? And I'm like, I'm already doing it. So it made me look even further. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, cool, I already conquered The Secret. So the journey of awareness is a journey. So I'm like, cool, I want more now. I got that information, I conquered that level, I want more. So then I came across Tibetan Book of the Dead. Have y'all heard of that?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Never read
So
it though.
I was listening to the audio book on the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and just out of curiosity, because the YouTube rabbit hole was hidden, so I'm like, this is an interesting thing. Book of the Dead, what's that about? Also, I'm not afraid of the dark side, so when I saw that it said the Book of the Dead, I wasn't shook. I'm like, oh, I'm interested in this place. Let me see what's what. And one of the chapters it said in the afterlife you're gonna be presented by like a serpent or something that you think that might be like an evil figure, and in reality it can't harm you, but you wouldn't have known this unless you read the Book of the Dead. So you come across this energy and it's supposed to be like a devilish energy, and in the Tibetan Book of the Dead it gave specific instructions to say don't be in fear, just walk around it, literally just walk right by it. But if you didn't study the Book of the Dead or didn't know or have instructions in the afterlife, you wouldn't have known, and you would have been stuck in purgatory forever. And I took that bar, and I'm like, damn, that's life. A lot of our fears are just false things that is in our conscious and our ego that really can't hurt us. I think an acronym is false energy appearing real for fear. And I'm like, that really resonated with me. And then I took that nugget and I started moving with it throughout life. So just to not be too long winded, through every journey of awareness, I get a nugget. And that nugget tells me to put in my backpack, and now I got this on my journey. So now that I come across different things, I have a new perspective. You know what I mean? So with The Secret, now I'm moving confidently to know that the law of attraction is real. All of the great people in the world use the law of attraction, and I've been using it. So now I can move with it confidently. Then I got the Tibetan Book of the Dead, and now I'm like, cool, fear is an illusion, and a lot of things you could just walk right by it. And all of these things are like amping me up and making me more aware, making me stronger, and helping me on this journey. You know what I'm saying? So just every step of the way, I keep getting more nuggets and more gems. And that's been the process. And I've been getting more aware because I'm having more experiences and I'm using the tools in my backpack to continue to dig and find more things. So, I mean, that's my journey. I was open to learn and I got the tools that I learned from the journey. And I'm just continuously doing that. And if I get good results, I'll take that as a sign to continue to move down that direction. And I get bad results, I know that that's something I got to get rid of.
I think one of the more important things that you expressed is how much you kept learning, right? And the gems that you kept coming across. But I think the only reason that you were able to do that is because you realized that you didn't know. And I think a lot of people can't get to these levels of awareness because they feel like they already know. And when you feel like you already know, there's nothing else your soul can tell you. And that the soul is what's guiding your journey and allowing you to unlock these levels of awareness. And but your mind is also powerful. So if you are convincing your mind that you already know, then you'll never reach these levels of awareness. So I just wanted to put that out there because along with, it's like what you went through is like the process, but in that process you kept learning willingly and deliberately. Like, all right, I'm gonna learn this. Or oh, this is what it is now. Okay, cool. Like you wasn't afraid to change.
And also,
And yeah, go ahead.
also the beginning phases of that was I was already going inside. I was going to self already. Like I always my default was to go internal. A lot of people
Mm.
have to learn to go within and start to talk to yourself and start to talk to the God within you. I was already doing that as a kid. So even when we talk about our spiritual journey, when you say, you know what, you got enlightenment early and I got mine a little later in life, I only got enlightenment early because I isolated early, and that was because of trauma. Like I felt like the world didn't make sense. I felt like everything didn't make sense. So I'm like, the only thing that makes sense in this world is me. So I'm gonna talk to myself. I'm gonna be with myself. So I kind of expedited that whole I need to isolate and learn to love myself because I did that as a kid through traumatic experiences.
Yeah,
Okay.
man.
So I kind of got, I feel like, a head start on the game because I alchemized my situation accidentally. I took a lot of the negative that was happening in the life and in the world, and
Mhm.
I was just like, you know what? Go to who makes sense. Jamero makes sense, and I grew from there. And everybody's journey is different, you know. So this might be the conversation that need to be had for somebody in the audience to spark some new awareness, because now you know that you got people that's going through the journey with you, and we all know it's not easy. We know you're gonna go down some dark paths, and we know that, you know, isolation is going to be a big part of the whole operation as well. And shout out to Queen Mahogany for buying a badge. We definitely appreciate you. And I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. Hey, we gonna start having more transparent moments. I sent your voice note to our group text, and this is why we here today. Because you told me that you got some insight from our videos, and we made them videos about a year ago. So you're like, you know what, we got to stop playing and get back on here because somebody's listening. So we want to give you a special thank you and appreciation, Queen Mahogany, for, you know, inspiring this session.
That's literally what happened too.
That's
Literally.
absolutely.
She said that, we listened to it, and I was like, all right, yo, we need to get back in, bro. What we doing? And now here we are. Now we
Yeah.
need each other, man. Yeah, but I would just, to piggyback off what you're saying, Jimo, I would just tell people to have fun not knowing and be comfortable with what you know. There's always going to be that contrast, but have fun not knowing, because that's when you get to know everything.
All right. And then one quick thing I want to say, we need your support, man. You know, what keeps us going for doing this is messages that people give us about old podcasts. And that wasn't the first voice note we got. That wasn't the first text message. I'm gonna say at least once a month somebody hit me up and be like, "Why y'all don't do y'all podcasts no more?" So I'm glad that we're able to give you guys a perspective to help you get more awareness, because that's all we want to do. You're gonna get three different perspectives from three dudes going on a journey that's going through the ups and the downs and the ins and outs of manhood. So for the men that's watching this, you're literally watching men evolve in real time.
In
And we're
real
using
time.
this brotherhood to evolve and become better men every single day.
Mm-hmm.
For the women, you guys get a chance to get a perspective of what real men look like. I'm gonna
Yes.
go ahead and say it straight up.
No, that's
It's a lot of
100%.
men out here that's not real men, not even high value men. They just ain't even, they don't even qualify as men, but these same men are having children. These same men are leading families, or not even leading families, just in families. But I don't consider these men men. So you guys get to see us as men evolve. Women, you guys get a great perspective. Men, you guys get a great perspective. And we love the support. So if you look at any of the other videos and you want to repost, feel free to repost. If anything that we said did something for you, feel free to let us know. Reach out, follow all three of us, and let us know what was working for you. And also, if it's a debatable topic you want to debate, or you got an alternate perspective, we here for that too, because alternate perspectives gives us all what? More awareness. So
Yes.
we
Woo!
got a golden goddess gave us another badge. So thank you so much. The badges
Thank
is popping.
you.
Badge is going crazy right now. So we appreciate that. And if anybody wants to go live, we would love to talk to any of y'all, because I get tired of talking to these niggas. So I want to talk to somebody else. You feel
Yeah.
me?
Next time, let's definitely have somebody in the audience come in, share their thoughts and opinions, and let's, bounce off each other for sure. Because the more minds,
Well,
the better, man.
I wanted to piggyback off of a few quick things that were mentioned. I just took some notes. So, a Epictetus, I may be pronouncing this wrong because it's the Greek philosopher, but he
Hmm.
did say it is impossible for a man to learn what he thinks he already knows.
Hmm.
So I'm gonna put that out there. When it comes to awareness, you gotta have an open mind. Um, One of those things that kind of comes with that is dissolving self boundaries. I know boundaries is like a hot topic, especially in the mental health circles, but we don't need boundaries with ourselves. We need boundaries with others, but we don't need boundaries with ourselves. And people are running around going through high levels of cognitive dissonance because the foundation of which they were brought up on is no longer true, but that's how they identify as a person. So they can't step outside that box, because to re-identify who they are, they have to reinvent their whole perception of their reality, and it takes a lot of work. So it's easier just to stay in this realm of what you created, you believe that you are. Um, One of the ways I would say that you can gain awareness is purposeful pain, or pain with the pain. Pain is one of those strong emotions that centers us to the moment, and a lot of people are going through unnecessary pain. So when I say purposeful pain, doing things that you don't desire to do but are good for you, it will bring you to
Mhm.
the moment due to the extreme ability, but it'll also bring you past the moment and above the moment once you elevate past whatever blockade barrier that you. Unbeknownst to me, like me not actually trying to be aware, I went through a lot of pain growing up, childhood, teenager, so on and so forth. And my adversity made me win. So there was a conversation a few months ago with JMO, and during that conversation, we were just talking about super trying to build as a young man, and try to be Superman or whatever. And he said, this is either going to break you or it's going to build you. And I chose to take the route of allowing it to build me up. I just want to, sometimes we need to hear these things, but I just want to give everyone permission to know that you are in charge of your own mind. If no one ever told you it, we've dove into a society of a lot of consumerism, and we're constantly being poured into with this, that, the third, but you're in control of your own mind, and you can do what you, not only what you want to do, but whatever you need to do or you have to do. The adversary, Shaitan, devil, Satan, Lucifer, whatever you want to call them, is only in the business of controlling humans' minds, not in the business of maintaining the solar system, not in the business of growing the grass and attacking the trees and the animals, only in the business of manipulating humans' minds who we allow him to enter. And the reason why he specifically targets us is because everything is ran on autopilot. That's the way God had set it up. God gave us the access to free will, so he tries to manipulate that. And even if you feel like your free will is taken, because it's just heavy topic on like people selling their soul, there's no such thing. It's you. Your soul is you. So there is no such thing as actually selling your soul. Don't believe the lies. Don't go down a rabbit hole of thinking like you're powerless. But one thing I will say is this soul, this mind, your emotions, your physical body is just like a muscle spiritually, and you do have to go to the gym, and it will be sore, and you have to work it out to really train it to get to where you want to go. So it's not a thing of, if you are in a mental loop or going through something mentally where you feel like you're stuck, that you're going to be stuck there forever. But you will have to do a couple mental push-ups and a couple spiritual push-ups, actually quite a few, to get to a place of resilience and then move past whatever blockade that there is. But as far as awareness goes, just to sum it up, it's purposeful pain, it's pain with a purpose, and taking on challenges that are going to allow you to not only be present through that pain, but elevate you to the next moment.
Yeah, I hear them bars from How to Outwit the Devil.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. I think that was a great way to kind of close this out also. Some nice proverbs. Appreciate it. No, it was really good. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
So, what's y'all time like? How much time I got with y'all?
I mean, I got like another 30, maybe 45 minutes. I'm about
I
to
mean,
finish my workout after this, but I got some time right now.
soul is up, so my time is about to start getting a little limited. But I mean, what else did you want to talk about? Because I'm here. So she chilling. So
So we could wrap the conversation up because Don was talking about just like the challenges, the healthy challenges that you give yourself to get to awareness. So I want
Mhm.
to know what current challenges are y'all going through, like in real time, that you are actively conquering. What's something that's going through? Because people can look at us and think that we ain't going through nothing.
uh,
Ain't that something? They think sometimes people just got it together and they don't have problems. So, we could start with Don. What are you currently going through that you are conquering and gaining more awareness through conquering that challenge?
That's a good question. I guess I could start by saying where I came from. A lot of stuff that people would do would bother me on this journey. I felt like kind of isolated. You know, the more enlightened you are, the harder it is to relate. I'm no longer in that space, but now I'm in a space of not trying to diagnose or understand people's psychosis, because that's also a form of not accepting reality as it is. I think the other day we talked about we can diagnose and go super deep and try to figure out why somebody is, why the way they are, and still be completely wrong, and them still be who they are. So now I guess the challenge that I'm just getting past is not trying to understand it so much, because essentially I do have the understanding that something is off about this human. And since we're building this legacy, since we're building an empire, we don't have time to psychoanalyze and diagnose all the estranged people in this world, because we have to pour into the kingdom. So for me, this next phase, this next chapter is just saving as much time as possible and not getting lost in the sauce of idiots.
The idiot sauce. Stay away from the idiot
Man, you
sauce.
got to leave it on the shelf.
You-
Don't even buy it. It's GMO.
Shelf. Right next to the bacon.
Yeah, and the side.
um, I would say for me, it's discipline. And, and to, of course, be transparent. Like what I love right now is that Jadon and Jamero are much more, to me, in my opinion, disciplined with their working out and maybe a few other things, and I want to be where they are right now. And so I feel like for me right now is discipline and just really not having excuses kind of coming away, like, oh, my son, and all of these different things, versus like just finding a way to do it, and that becoming my lifestyle. And now I always have a reason to work out or a reason to do these things. So I'll just say discipline right now for me. Yeah.
And that's interesting that you say that, because I'm only working out because of Don's work ethic. So anytime he tell me he working out and I'm not, I'll be like, man, I'm playing. I ain't playing with myself. You know what I'm saying? But something that I'm going through a lot of things. Where do I begin? I'm gonna say with work. Like I'm in a process, and what's good, Q? I'm in a process of figuring out what is it like to work hard versus being overworked. So I know I can grind, cool. I know I can work hard, cool. But at what point do I just stop? Or what point do I give myself the space and grace just to relax? So I got a lot of things going on. Like, I'm a travel agent, I do graphic design, I do photography, I assist the councilman, future mayor in Compton. I assist both of my brothers with all of their businesses as well. I'm like a personal assistant to a lot of people. I'm always building. I'm always growing. I just joined a CrossFit gym, so I'm always working on my body, always working on my spirit, and I just try to be there for the world. But at what point do I just like sit the fuck down? So that's what I'm going through right now, and I know I have to compartmentalize my time, because at the end of the day, we get our 24 hours, and at the end of the day, I'm like, cool. If it's something that I didn't get accomplished, I'm like, well, what could I have cut out my day to make sure I had time for that? So after I make the cuts, I made a bunch of cuts, and I'm still like, why am I not getting enough done? And I'm thinking right now, what I'm going through is maybe I'm just doing too much. I can't be Superman all the time. Me and Don talk about this all the time. Like, sometimes you got to be Superman, but it's okay to be Clark Kent too. It's okay to be human. Like, it is okay. You know what I mean? So right now, I'm trying to figure out how much of Clark Kent do I want to be versus Superman, and how much do I want to balance out my work play balance, and how much of this cache in my brain do I want to clear out and delete for more memory. So that's where I'm at right now, balancing that all out and still being productive, still being efficient and everything. But it's just like, how much do I want to do right now? Because it's interesting, because I actually don't have to do anything. I set myself up to where I could literally do nothing and I'm good. So it's like, how much do I want to sacrifice my well-being for the money? You know what I'm saying? So that's it. And it's just a real life, real time journey. And I'm actually glad everybody joined us. We're going to go ahead and wrap up. But if you got a bar from us, feel free to DM us. Make sure you follow everybody. Let us know what y'all got from this, because we're literally doing this for y'all. And in the headline, I put, "What are you consuming?" Because I truly feel like we are consuming a lot of madness on the internet because there's a lot of madness being put out that's not helping us and serving us. So we try to get on here to give y'all words that's helping y'all and serving y'all so we can all elevate collectively. So if you got something from us, feel free to DM either one of us and tell us what you got from it. I'm going to post this on my page and we're going to post clips. So feel free to share the clips, feel free to comment. And just to let y'all know, we need y'all support because we're doing this for you guys. So that's all I got. And last words for Don King.
I don't know, Don, you want to go, or you need time to think too?
Yeah, I appreciate putting it in. That's it.
Um,
We definitely
yeah,
gonna
I
be
mean,
back more.
yeah, I'm glad we did this. Like I said in the beginning of this, this is definitely a nice little preview, hour-long preview of what the official interview that I'm going to be doing with Jamero is going to be about. And like I said, I'm doing that interview because it is so paramount that men and women understand masculine and feminine energy. You know, it's before we continue on, before you want to go be super enlightening and spiritual or whatever, please know how to treat your partner in the house. So stay tuned for that. But that's all I got, y'all.
Good to go. You ready to hit that gym?
Yeah, yeah, I'm ready to get to it. So when I hopped on here, I just finished abs. I'm ready to go.
All right. Well, once
Put
again,
some pictures in the group chat.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, we. Oh, also, just so you guys know, we have a men's group on Telegram. So
Yes.
for the men that's in here, if y'all looking to connect, if y'all just want to chat, if y'all want to talk about workouts, health, life, or just being a community of men that's growing awareness collectively, the link is in my bio. If you can't find it for some reason, feel free to hit me up. I can send it to you directly. But we always building, man. We building community. We building awareness, and we building our dollars too, because we all, are high value men looking to do more for the world. So we need all the resources we can get as well. So on that note, we appreciate y'all, and it's levels to this shift. And y'all have a good one.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.